Don't you dare try and tell me that a Super League doesn't work and a Super League does not make sense.
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
So someone tweeted something to me, because as I was watching the game and so forth, it got close. Came in when Leverkusen were 1-0 up then. Bayern Munich then got that out, completely changed the game onto their place. And I was like, well, look, induct the Bundesliga. Then someone said, wait a minute, no. Don't blame Leverkusen. Bayern Munich are the best team in the world. They would do this to any team. So that was like, okay, that's an interesting jump off. That's an interesting jump off to launch this post-match analysis. Because, you know what I've always been saying, that the domestic game is in a crisis. There is no parity. And I think until something is done, the club game is going to look pretty embarrassing and pretty ridiculous because the gap equality between teams and other teams is bad. But looking at this game specifically, it is hard to judge just how good Bayern Munich are. It is hard to judge them because Leverkusen are a good team. They're a much better team with Kai Havertz. It was really annoying that Havertz wasn't in the team because he had a muscle injury. But, Leverkusen obviously gave them a go. Because remember, this is the team that beat them at the Allianz. But quality is quality. You've got to give credit to Hansi Flick because Hansi Flick has been the man who has pretty much been behind the renaissance of Bayern Munich and the turnaround of Bayern Munich. Again, I say that without Hansi Flick, Thomas Muller is in a retirement home or in the MLS or maybe perhaps the Uber Eats. So Thomas Muller owes his re-emergence of his career to Hansi Flick. He's gotten Lewandowski scoring like a flicking freak. Even Kingsley Coman played well today. But I think the guy that I think impressed me the most was Goretzka. And Goretzka is one of those dudes where I'm like, because whenever you look at Bayern Munich, you talk about Alphonso Davies, you talk about Boateng, you talk about Gnabry, Lewandowski, and you never really talk about Goretzka. And I think Goretzka is one of those guys where, like, he's like a tier 2 player. He's like a cool upper tier 3, tier 2 player. He's sort of between upper tier 3 and tier 2. But I think more and more, he's showing just how important he is to this team. And he's just showing the key thing is effectiveness. Now, Goretzka in a vacuum isn't a guy who comes like, oh, this is a fantastic, amazing player. And as much as we insult Coutinho, I believe Coutinho is a better player than Goretzka. But for what Hansi Flick wants, what helps the team, and in terms of making the right decisions and making key decisions to help the team, I think we have to ride with a Goretzka. Because again, when you look at the equalizer, that was an incredibly amazing pass by Goretzka. Because you just look at the pass that he made, and how he was able to release that other pass and where the pass came from, and the weighting and the pacing of the pass and the timing of the pass, the precision of the pass was freaking amazing. I thought Coman was going to miss, but look, Coman he held his nerve composed, and Coman had one of his better games. Just that for Coman, next 3 games he'll be trash. That's what I'm thinking. Just that he gives you one good game every single millennium. So, but the thing though is with Bayern Munich, even if Havertz was in Leverkusen's team, maybe they'd have a bit of resistance. But they have too many individual players. They have too many key guys. And when you have a Muller, a Lewandowski, a Gnabry, a Coman playing well, a Goretzka coming through, and Alphonso Davies on the left, it isn't very hard to stop them from winning. Not only to stop them from winning. But my thing though is that, can we look at Bayern's performances? I mean, these guys have hit 4 goals here, 5 goals here, 6 goals here. Can we look at this and say this is one of the best teams in Europe? No, we cannot say that. Because against Chelsea are a team on the come up, which is why we have to now see, okay, can they now take this performance against a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, a Man City, a PSG, a Juventus, who are the cream of the crop, the best of the best of the best? The teams in the Bundesliga just aren't as good as those teams that I just mentioned. So by the end of the day, Bayern can only beat what is in front of them. But we cannot take what they're doing to these guys to put them up at the very best. But we've got to give a shout to Lewandowski. He'll be annoyed because his yellow card means that he misses the next game. But I'll be surprised if he doesn't score at least 1 or 2 more goals until the end of the season. He's on 30 Gs. And I believe that he's never broken. Yeah, he's on 30 Gs. Sorry, yeah, he's on 30 goals. Is he on 29 or 30? I think he's on 30. I don't know if he's on 29 or 30. But the thing is that if he now breaks that 30 G barrier, I think that will be the highest that he's ever scored. And look, it's the same thing again, man. It's like he has completely and totally lubricated the Bundesliga. You have to rest back and say, now, who knows what would have happened if Aubameyang had stayed at Dortmund? But he has taken over the Bundesliga and he will go down as the Bundesliga's greatest ever striker. And that in itself is a great asset. Congratulations. That's well and good. But I would want more from him. But look, man, Bayern Munich are looking very good. And there is no team in the Bundesliga that can really beat them. The only way they can lose is if they beat themselves. That is the only way they can lose is if they beat themselves. And it's not as if the teams in the Bundesliga are trash, because they are. These are really good teams with some very interesting players. Like, look, I'm a huge fan of Arangues. I'm a huge fan of Leon Bailey. I'm a huge fan of those guys. But it's levels. It's high levels. No other team in the Bundesliga has a striker as good as Lewandowski. No other team in the Bundesliga has a right-sided inside forward as good as a Gnabry. No, and I think few teams have as effective an attacking midfielder as Goretzka, who plays a very key role in bringing that ball forward. When Muller is Muller, he can say what's up. So Leverkusen badly missed Havertz, and I just wish that he was in his team. So you saw the best of Leverkusen face the best of Bayern Munich. I just wish that you had that. But it's because like when Leverkusen went to 1-0, I was like, okay, maybe could they possibility and everything. But once we now really got down to, because guys, remember, this football isn't 20 minutes. It isn't 30 minutes. It's 90 minutes. You have to play for 90 minutes. And over 90 minutes, I was like, are these guys really going to say what's up? Are these guys really going to say what's up over 90 minutes against a team like Bayern Munich? Because the way that football works is if you're facing a team that have better players and are well coached, 9 times out of 10, they will beat you. The only time that you can beat them is if you have your best team, you play your best ever game, and you hope they don't play their best game. Now Bayern Munich did not play their best game today, but it was near the best. Once they just ironed out the few wrinkles and so forth, and they got into their groove. So once Bayern Munich gets into the groove and everyone is really connecting, everyone is in the position, the passes are reaching everyone, and everyone is on the same wavelength. Nobody in the Bundesliga can say what's up to them. They can't, because you just don't have the defenders or the teams to suppress them. And more often than, forget about even the defenders, you don't have the counter-attacking options. You don't have the right, left-sided wide players, attacking midfielders and the strikers to really say what's up and react to them. So it's going to be very, very difficult. But we have to see whether Bayern Munich can really get that thingy, man. It should respect. No, look, I fully respect the Bayern machine, but let's just keep things in totality. Is it Bayern Munich are so amazing, or the level of competition they have isn't as good as they are? PSG get that ass in Uber Eats. They get that in Uber Eats. So is it that PSG are so superb? A team who lost to a 4-0, or is Uber Eats just trash? Because look, even in a vacuum, this Bayern Munich team are very good, and they're playing extremely well. And when I look at the team, forget even the individuals. When I just look at the team, they're very well coached. Whenever you know that a coach is saying what's up is where there is chemistry within the team. When Niko Kovac was the manager of Bayern Munich, you didn't see that connectivity. People were not playing as a group. They were not playing together as a unit. But with Hansi Flick coming in, it's like, these guys are a unit. They are playing together. They're a strong force. They're a strong team. But you have to keep things in perspective. They are too good from the Bundesliga. I think that's much has been proven. And you say to yourself that if Hansi Flick was the manager from the start of the season, Bayern would already be champions. Facts. Because they didn't give up a lot of points. If it's the manager at the beginning of the season, they would already be champions very easily. So he came in And look at how quickly the turnaround has been with regards to what he's been able to do with Bayern Munich. So I respect it, man. See, Bayern going to destroy us if the sale comes back. Look, man, if Bayern Munich play like that, Chelsea will find it very hard. I won't lie. For me, what I still say though is that the Champions League is a different competition, and the Champions League brings something new. But look, Bayern Munich had an amazing game at the bridge. They had an amazing game at the bridge, and they got their ass. Like Chelsea, they got their ass. Even though I would say to myself that why was Mason Mount playing? Why was Ross Barkley playing? There were players that who did not deserve to even sniff the flipping pitch that were playing. But still, Bayern Munich got that ass at the bridge. And if they play like this, Chelsea will find it very difficult. I do still believe that Chelsea do have an interesting offensive counterattack to counteract what Bayern brings to them, which are more interesting for the options compared to the teams in the Bundesliga. But still, at the end of the day, the team is well coached. And if a team is well coached, they will try to deny those counterattacks that Chelsea would bring, and they will try and expose you defensively, which is what they did very well at the bridge. Same man. I didn't see Werner's miss, man. I didn't see Werner's miss, but you see, that's what guys. So basically, so now because Werner has now missed, he's now trash. Guys, relax. Guys, just relax and chill. Relax and chill, man. Relax and chill. You see, Coman. I say again, you see, Kingsley Coman. This was one of his better games, and that is the issue with Coman. Now, if Coman can play like this, because look at Gnabry. Out of 10 games, Gnabry will give you 7, 8 really good games. There may be 1 or 2 where he's average, but out of 10 games, Gnabry will give you 7 or 8. Out of 10 games, Kingsley Coman will give you maybe 2 or 3 that are really good. 8 of them, he looks shabby. So in the game today, he looks good. But there's a reason why Bayern Munich are trying so hard to get Leroy Sané, because Leroy Sané, they believe that is a dude that can give them a consistent return. And that's what you want. You want back a consistent return. Look, it was a really good goal that Coman scored. It was a 1v1. It was a 1v1. So I don't know how much credit I can give you for a 1v1. It was still a good finish, but it was a 1v1. But so I'll give you more credits for the run that he made. But his overall game was clean. But it's about maintaining a consistent high level of quality play. It's basically a quality of quality play, and I don't know whether he can give that, But as I said again, you see, for me, I can't see. That's why with Goretzka, it's hard for me to figure out Goretzka because he's not world class. I can't call him world class, but he's a really good player. And I think Goretzka for me is almost similar to Muller, although I think Goretzka might be a slightly better football player technically than Muller. I think for Goretzka, it's about what he does within the team and how he helps the team within the match. I don't think he's an individual who can be like, he's going to take the ball and just do something crazy. Hence why I say Coutinho is a better footballer than Goretzka. But if I had a team, I'd probably have Goretzka on my team than I would Coutinho, because I think Goretzka would be able to make better in-game decisions than Coutinho would. Because Coutinho is probably one of the worst players in terms of actually making good decisions, man. All right, man. So look, guys, throw in some questions, but I'll throw in some questions, man. And I'll see what you guys are saying, man. I think what you guys said. Actually, Coman he's a useful brick. And that's not, look, being a useful brick isn't a bad thing. If you're managing a team, I just need guys who are useful to me. Whether you're a brick, whether you're tier 1, whether you're tier 2, I just need guys that work for me in my team. But if Sané comes, Coman only has himself to blame because Coman has never had an amazing season. Remember, Gnabry was picked as Bayern Munich's best player last season. Yeah, last season he was Bayern Munich's best player. So that just showed you how well he was able to do on that wing. So for Coman, you have to match him on that wing. Remember when Bayern had Robin and Ribery, two very different players who do two very different things, but they were consistent in what they did. Robin was consistent in getting the ball to his left foot and saying what's up. Ribery was consistent in providing for Mandzukic and providing for the other strikers. So, and because they had two wingers who were consistent in what they did, that's what led them to a treble. But the issue with Bayern Munich right now is Gnabry is consistent, although not as dynamic as Robin. And the issue is, what was his face? A Leroy Sané, sorry, a Coman comes in and out. Comes in and out. Okay, he'll be good, he'll not be good. He'll be good, he'll not be good. But he needs to be doing exactly what his good friend Gnabry is doing. HH, how can Lewandowski be the greatest striker in the Bundesliga when Guardiola has almost 2 times as many goals as him in the Bundesliga and has the record of 40 goals in a season? Because Lewandowski is the better player. So when I say the best striker, I'm looking at your consistency of goals, and also as well, you have to keep this in mind. He's a better player, different era. You know, a different era. How good was the era that Guardiola played in? You know, and looking at Guardiola's goals, for me, in terms of quality, now you can just say just goals are goals. In terms of quality, Lewandowski is the better striker. He's the better striker. Like, his goals are better. The way he takes his goals, the way he executes his goals, his goal repertoire, his variation on kind of goals that he scores, do this just the more quality, versatile striker. But I give a shout out to your boy Guardiola. He's doing all right, man. Who do Bayern want to avoid in the Champions League apart from Atletico? Bayern Munich would have issues with a full strength PSG. Full strength. A full strength PSG, Bayern Munich would have issues. They would have issues with a full strength PSG because I think a full strength PSG could really say what was up to them. Key thing, I'm right. A full strength PSG without any Neymar, Bayern will beat them. They'll sort them out. Now, it would be a great game. And remember, that's my dream final. My dream final is a Bayern Munich PSG. That would be my dream final. Both teams at full strength, I think, would have a classic final, an absolutely amazing final. But if Bayern are in the quarters or in the semis, a full strength PSG could give them issues. Full strength PSG could give them issues. But now this is all assuming that we're going to get a CL, which is, of course, a doubtful, man. So, you know what's so crazy? You know, people in 2020, like on Twitter, people are still trying to convince me that Messi is the GOAT because he's done amazing things in a club game and he's not done anything international. It's like, guys, let Messi win a World Cup, then come back to me. It's very simple. All right, let's just see. Yeah, guys, send in questions, man. I'll last 10, 15 minutes or so. I'll answer a few of your questions, man. Send in some questions. But yeah, look, man. I am still a proponent of a Super League. Nobody in the Bundesliga is going to touch Bayern Munich because they're going to get Leroy Sané. Alphonso Davies is young. Gnabry is young. They're probably going to get a guy to replace Lewandowski as striker. No, so like there is no competition for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. There is no competition. So I said, so what I say to guys is, are you happy to see Bayern Munich walk the league every single season? That's what I'm saying. Are you happy for that? Because again, what is the excitement then? What are you looking forward to? If you already know they've won the league before a ball is kicked, where is the excitement? Is the excitement, oh, we managed to beat them once? Or is the excitement, oh, let's see who gets top 4. Let's see who comes second. So this is a battle for second and third. No, a league is supposed to excite because it's a title race. It's who will win the title. It is a battle for the title. That's why they say, okay, it's a 2-horse race, it's a 3-horse race. For the past 6, 7 seasons, nobody's been able to touch Bayern Munich. People have been able to come close and everything, but what do I just say, guys? Realistically, did anyone really think that Bayern would lose to Leverkusen? Did anyone really think that Bayern would lose to Dortmund? No. I mean, once Bayern beat Dortmund, that was it. Game, set, match, fully wrapped. And which is why, because you see, 2012, 2013, when Bayern won the treble, I think that they were really challenged by Dortmund. And Dortmund really gave them a serious challenge. And that, I remember Dortmund were much better. So a more competitive Bundesliga helps Bayern Munich in the CL. Same thing, a more competitive Uber Eats helps PSG in the CL. But by them not being competitive, hence why I say, like, guys, you can't call Bayern Munich the best team in the world. You can't. Until we see how well do they play against Juventus, against PSG, against Man City, against Barcelona. How well do they play against them? Then we can see how good they are. We can't be judging Bayern against Dortmund, Leipzig, Mönchengladbach, and Paderborn. We can't. Because these teams I just named would get beat by Juventus, PSG, and so forth. So we have to, yes, give them credit, because you have to give credit to who you beat. And they're playing very well. They're playing extremely well. This is a really good team. And yes, they are one of the best teams in Europe. But we don't know how good they are. Okay, thing. They are amazing. They are one of the best teams in Europe. But we do not know how good they are until they're best the best. To be the best, you've got to play the best. To be the best, you've got to play the best, man. See, I mean, is this true? Because if this is true, then this is worrying. Because I know people are saying, okay, because people say, okay, is he going to go? He's not going to go out, and it's another rumor. But if he goes to Bayern Munich, my God. Because again, like, this is what I always say, like, I cannot play Bayern Munich for just doing what they do, because they're not breaking any rules. They're not breaking any rules. Sorry, let me just turn off this flipping heat somehow. Bayern Munich are not breaking any rules. But how unfortunate is it that not only are you already the strongest, you're pretty much taking the best players from all of the teams around you. Imagine if Liverpool took De Bruyne from Man City and they said, you know what, I'm also going to take Pogba. I'm also going to take I'm also going to take Kante. So I say, if that happened, guys are like, wait, excuse me, what? Now, you can't blame Liverpool for doing that, but it just makes the league ridiculous in terms of competitiveness. So if Bayern Munich now take Kai Havertz from Leverkusen, of what function are they? Remember, they already lost Brandt. I think they lost another guy. Yeah, they lost Son. Then they lost Brandt. And now you're going to take Kai Havertz from them, 3 of their very best players. Whereas if Leverkusen still had Son, they still had Brandt, they still had Havertz, you're looking at a pretty interesting team. You're looking at a pretty interesting team, thankfully, without that brick alumni Kiesling. So, because I think people are just missing the state of affairs in this league, because the Bundesliga is still a great league. Don't get it twisted. There are still some very good teams here. But I can understand how someone who doesn't watch the Bundesliga fully watches it from the outside in and just sees Bayern Munich put 4 past Leverkusen, could have been a 5 or 6, and say, wait, what is the point of this league? Bayern have scored about 6, 7, 8, 9 goals in the past 3 games. That's crazy. That's crazy. They are getting that ass. These guys are getting that flipping ass. So it is really an unfortunate, man. I don't really give a damn what happened to Kiesling, bro. Yeah, because for me, I have to think, because it just worries me about the future of the Bundesliga, because the team you're competing against is only getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And you see, in the Premier League, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Man City, to somewhat degree, Tottenham can still actually attract the very best players and top players because of how much the Premier League can offer and because it's such a massive market. The issue with the Bundesliga is not as big or popular a market as the Premier League. They can't offer nearly as much money as the Premier League because of the TV money that the Premier League has. So it then makes it very hard to even compete with the Bayern Munich. But for a Bayern Munich, it's Bayern Munich. You know, they're a team with incredible history. So just via their name, because remember, Bayern don't spend a lot of money, and they like to control the amount of money that they spend, and also they like to control wage expenditure. But because it's Bayern Munich, just by the virtue of their name, they can attract guys. They're like, man, look, these are guys who've won the treble, they've won the CL before and everything. You know, look at their history. So they can attract these guys. So they're attracting guys from out of Germany. And this is a team that they took Lewandowski, they took Goretzka, they took Hummels, and now they're about to take Havertz now. So for the other teams, how do you even begin to compete? So then I asked the question that, what is the point in even beginning to compete when you are like several steps behind? You know, it's like you're on like at the 100-meter race, and Bayern Munich have been given like a 5-second head start. It's still a race. You can still catch them, but it's a 5-second head start, you know, which is crazy. So at least with Syria, other clubs are getting stronger. Are they? I mean, Inter Milan, you could say somewhat, but then they're about to lose Lautaro Martinez to Barcelona. Who can Lazio attract? Who can Roma attract? Is Chris Smalling now a major world-class player? Lazio, I'm shocked that they still have a hold of him, but Lazio, I think, are about to lose Milinkovic-Savic. He is, because he was supposed to go to Man United, like I think a few seasons ago. See, the thing with Milinkovic-Savic is that if he had had a great World Cup, because really Tadic was the guy who was most impressive. So if he had had a great World Cup, Milinkovic-Savic would not be playing for Lazio this season. Just that he had an average World Cup, which did not really help his case, man. So that's the issue. Who should play next to Kimmich, Goretzka, or Thiago? Should play next to Kimmich, Goretzka, or Thiago? Oh, sorry. Who should play next to Kimmich, Goretzka, or Thiago? You see, that's funny. It depends. It really depends on the kind of game you're playing in. For me, if the team is at home, and if you want to attack, I'd play Goretzka, because Goretzka is better and more dangerous in the final third than Thiago. But if let's say you're playing away from home and you want to keep hold of the ball and you want to maintain possession and immense control of the midfield, I'll choose Thiago, because Thiago is better at keeping the ball and working better within the congestion of the midfield as Goretzka is. See, Goretzka, I think his strength is bringing the ball out forward. Thiago, his strength is being a really good, disciplined central midfielder. So it's down to Hans Flick in terms of what is the game that you want to play and what do you want to do in the game. So let's see. No, basically we have at 10 p.m. tonight we'll address the Premier League fixtures. At 10 p.m. tonight we'll address the Premier League fixtures. All right, a few more questions and I'm out of here, man, because I need to chop. I need to eat. A few more questions and I'm out of here, man. So send in the next few questions and your boys out of here, man. Why is the Bundesliga not as big as the Premier League? Is it because of language? Why is the Bundesliga not as big as the Premier League? Is it because of language? For me, language is very key. Because English is the most common language and it's like the secondary language. That's the first thing. Also, you just have to look at history, as well. Because when you look at like a Chelsea, when you look at a Man United, a Liverpool, and Arsenal, these guys have a long storied history. So I think, English is a big thing. I mean, remember England, had a lot of influence based on the British Empire and so forth, which is why like even like Nigeria itself, they're like a colony and everything. So that is a big factor. That is a really big factor. And also it's marketing as well. Like Bundesliga doesn't really market itself. But the Premier League spends a lot of time marketing itself. And because of how it's marketed itself, it is therefore has a greater global reach than the Bundesliga does. I mean, every single summer and everything, even like I was watching something where I think Arsenal partnered with Guinness and he had guys, Arsenal legends, go to Nigeria, do some stuff. Rio Ferdinand partnered with Guinness for Man United. He goes to Nigeria and do some stuff as well. So, and I think also what also helps as well, it's the Premier League is more competitive than the Bundesliga and has been out. This season was been, but for most times, the Premier League is they're really guys who are all fighting for that title. So it is because it is now getting towards a duopoly. But in the last 6 years, the Premier League has like look at the first 5-6 years. So you've had Liverpool will win in this season. City won its last 2 seasons. Then before that, you had Chelsea. Then before that, I believe you had Leicester City. Then you had City twice. Then you had your United. So you had that tit and tat. For the last 7 seasons, it's been one team, Bayern Munich. That's it. It's been one team, Bayern Munich. And you cannot. It is impossible for you to popularize a league where one team just fully dominates it. It's very hard to market it. It's very hard to market it. Hence why La Liga. It's because La Liga, even if Barcelona have gotten that ass, it's a duopoly. It still feels like a duopoly. Like La Liga feels more like a duopoly than Bundesliga. And that is because of it's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. So even if they've got their ass kicked in La Liga, look at how well they've done in the Champions League and in Europe. And that's the weird thing that Real Madrid's Champions League wins mask the fact that, these guys have only won twice in the last 10, 11 years. The La Liga. So that in itself is crazy. All right. Let's see. Try and guess from everyone, man. All right, let's see. What all Bundesliga teams play a high line and expects to not concede against Bayern? I don't think they all play a higher line, but there is just a culture, and I think it's a commendable culture. There's a culture in Bundesliga where, like, you know what, we're gonna play. Let's just go out there and just play. But if you look at this game, though, when Leverkusen went 1-0 up, they did play 5 at the back when they did not have the ball. When they had the ball, it was 3 at the back, the wing backs. But when they don't have the ball, they had 5 at the back. So they did try to be much more defensive, but they just got caught out. They just got caught out. But yeah, like, look, I mean, if you're a Bundesliga team, it is advisable to have men behind the ball. You should have to have the men behind the ball. All right, guys, man. Look, man. That is the runoff for this Bayern Leverkusen thing. Well done to Bayern. They should pretty much wrap up the league very soon. But I just think, you got people just need to just pause for thoughts. Bayern Munich are amazing. They're playing great football. I love watching Alphonso Davies. He's one of my favorite players to watch. I have a great appreciation for Goretzka. And Thomas Muller is having an amazing renaissance. And Lewandowski, my God, this guy, he might end up getting 32 or 33 goals by the end of the season. And I expect him to break his goal record when all is said and done. But as good as Bayern Munich are, people just need to just take a long look at the domestic game and just ask yourselves that what fun or excitement is there when there's only one team in it? And what excitement is there when one team keeps getting stronger and the other teams keep getting weaker, and the other teams cannot simply compete without one team? That's what I say. And just to rest with this is that as good as Bayern Munich have been, if the Champions League comes back and Chelsea roll with Werner and Ziyech, mark my words, we could be looking at a sacrifice at the Allianz. So Bayern Munich, enjoy the good stuff while it lasts, because when Chelsea re-up and get the players that we have, it's going to get ugly for Bayern. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.